Do you have a beach near you?
Did I, Ek?
Oh yeah.
I grew up in a city, didn't I?
Yeah, but I don't know. Is it not got a beach?
No. It's miles away.
Oh wow.
You're probably talking, I don't know, maybe an hour's drive, maybe a little bit more.
Yes. That's far.
Oh, we're on. It's recording. It is.
It's
Stop
recording
shitting itself. Talk to me, mate. I'll give you the floor. Who are you? Tell me.
All right. Who am I? Well, I'm just a girl from Christchurch, New Zealand. I was born in Christchurch with family background. Dad's a farmer, mum's a teacher. We lived in Ashburton. We moved to Indonesia when I was 7. When I was 4, lived there for 7 years in Jakarta. My dad was a diplomat, moved back here, went to school here, back in Christchurch. Have a younger sister who's 30, and was brought up in a Christian family all my life. Really healthy, well balanced, loving home. And then when I hit, I guess, oh my goodness, how much do you want? But when I hit the end of fourth formal, when I was 15, I sort of went to Riccarton High for a year, one of the kind of public schools, because I went to a private school. I went there for a year, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end. I got involved with a whole lot of jokers that I probably shouldn't have, had a few traumatic things happen, and that kind of sent me on a bit of a spiral, as it does. And for like the next 3 to 4 years, I sort of have a bit of a blur in my life of just partying, etc. Until when I was 18, I fell pregnant with my daughter, Leah, and she was my saving grace. She it was a life or death situation for me, figuring out whether I was going to have her or not. But I kind of knew that for me, because I'd had given myself the choice to have sex, then therefore I take on the responsibility that I could get pregnant. So for me, it was selfish if I decided, oh no, I don't want this child, and I'm not going to give it a chance at life. So I just sucked it up, and I had a mum who was a pastor in a church, and I had, family members who were really successful in business and all of that, where you just are like, I had this good trajectory where I'd gotten out of a hole, and I was going to go work in a laboratory, and but then I fall pregnant and I can't, because I work with listeria, which can cause miscarriages, and so that's a risk they can't take on. And so it's all of that where it's just like everything's going against me actually having this child. But I just always have been a survivalist, so I just was like, oh well, let's just do it, and what will be. I can't, and it's best. It's the most amazing decision I've ever made in my life, and brought me and my family closer and me back to God. And I've got such a cool kid. She's 15, and she told me just recently that she idolizes me, and that she just adores me, which is really nice. Like, what 15-year-old ever told their mother that,
Yeah. Well, there you go. Do you think do you think that survivalist mindset came from your parents? Do you think that came from life, or do you think that came from moving abroad at a young age and having to sort of deal with that?
Combination of possibly all of them. I mean, I'm from a long line of very independent women, so very strong woman. So my grandmother, her father is Austrian, so he came over in the war, and then he'd come and go from my nan's house and kind of knock up my great grandmother and then leave and then come back, and so they'd had 10 or 11 kids. And my nan was at the very tail end of all those kids. So she kind of grew up just seeing her dad now and then. I think he had another family up north. So obviously the mother had to play mum and dad. And then my nana, she married my koro, and they're still alive, but he's very soft, meek, and my nan was the authoritarian and the disciplinarian, and my mum was also the same. My dad's not weak, but definitely more submissive. And then there's me, who's also done the same with being able to be, quite dominating, I guess, in some way. But You know, I've kind of met my match who kind of keeps me in line as well, which is great.
Yeah.
And then Leah. So there is that real sort of like lineage of strong women. So I and my mum was never about the self-pity. She was always just like, if something happened, you know, don't victimize yourself. See what you need to take responsibility for, own it, apologize, and do something about it. You know, don't sit and wallow. And so I really take that on in my life, where I understand things happen and I understand empathy towards someone and what they go through. But there's a time where you've got to go, okay, I need to put on my big boy pants now and do something about it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So that's like a combination of like nature and nurture, isn't it, really? Because it's in your nature to be a bit of a stronger lady, but then also growing up, having those life lessons at an early age, obviously having Leah, like, that's gonna give you a slap in the face, and you've got to, like, you know, it's sink or swim at that time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how did you get into business? Because you own, is it one? I actually don't know this, so this is going to be really interesting. Like, talk to me.
So how did I get into business? Well, I went in 2009 and did like a hotel management diploma thing, and at CPIT. And one of the courses that they did was barista course. And so I got involved with that, and I really loved making coffee. So I got offered a job in a cafe, and therefore started my cafe sort of experience. And I guess just through the way I would see and I would dream, I'd think about what I want in life. And I've never been someone that's super career goal orientated, but I've always thought it's pretty cool to be able to travel around with like a coffee van trailer around New Zealand and do something like that. So the seed was kind of planted there. And just over time, through different jobs, I was working in a clothing store, and I can't stand retail after that. So food and coffee is my jam, but retail selling clothes is not my jam. So you go. Okay, see you, love. Have a good day. Okay. So because of that, it's almost like when you really, really are not happy in a position that you're in, or you dislike it so much, it's almost like that pushes you to a point of wanting change. It's when you are really not happy where you're at, like that you're almost forced. And so I was like, right, I need to go out and do this now, because I always wanted to be able to build my own dreams instead of working for somebody else and building theirs. Like that was I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I started looking on Trade Me, and I just came across this sort of old 1960s Tow Joy retro caravan. It was already made up as a coffee caravan, and I just went and checked it out. And then I just I didn't have any of the capital to put into it, but I just talked to my dad, and I just shared with him a plan of what I was going to do and how I was going to pay it back, and that sort of thing. He's like, come to me with a plan, and then we'll discuss, you know. And so I might have borrowed maybe probably all up, because I got a car as well with that, 20, maybe 20K. I'd put in 5. And then I just paid Dad back a certain amount every week. And yeah, just made it happen. It came with a spot permanently outside of the town hall. So I got to deal with all the tradies, and that was amazing for like the first 2.5 years. And then I was out without a space for about a year, so I had to just do gigs. But luckily I'd met Nate, who was able to sort of like help me out a little bit with, you know, me moving in and stuff like that, and not having to, you know, he supported me a little bit while I didn't work. And then I got the place in Margaret Mayhew Playground, and so I had a little accident with the old caravan and rode it off, and so I got my one that I have now, and which is great. But I miss the old girl as well. She had a lot of character. It's like, it was a piece of crap, but I loved it. And now I'm in the process of getting another one, permanent one, and putting it at the Margaret Mayhew Playground, and using this one for gigs. So I'm expanding the Kea Coffee empire, and then whoop. But on the side as well, when we went into the lockdown in March, everything stopped. Everything stopped. You know, if I'm not opening the hatch to serve coffee, I don't make any money, right? So I needed to think quick what I was going to do. So I was like, well, I've got to find something online. So I was looking at friends and that who have been involved with online businesses before, and I found one with collagen and skincare and that. And so I jumped in and was just like, right, just make it work. And so while I was at home, I was doing lots of different videos at home and just sharing value with people and just sharing my life. And I still do that now, and I make a full-time income off it now. And so I've kind of got two streams of, and now that my online business, my skincare business, has funded me being able to get the second caravan, so I can actually keep going with the care, and so very cool. Like just stepping out and just making it happen. We all have 24 hours in the day, and I guess
miss.
What do you decide you want to do with it? Like, we can have all the excuses in the world, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, are we just going to keep scrolling on our phones or doing stuff that procrastinate, or you're going to go and actually make a life or a future for yourself that can get through?
I mean that's a perfect example, right? Of just starting and just doing something, because you fell in, you obviously did the course, ended up falling in love with making coffees.
Yeah.
And we're like, I wanted to work for myself, don't want to work for the man, sort of thing. Bought the whole caravan, expanded onto that. Now that's expanding again, gone into something else with being proactive with the whole lockdown situation, and like just starting usually ends up spiraling the dice to other things that you wouldn't even have thought about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I bet collagen was never on your mind when you started.
No. No, it wasn't. I didn't really know much about it at all. So, and then diving into how important it is, and the benefits of it, and that, and how our bodies deplete of it, was just so interesting. And then obviously my number one testimony being myself, and what it's done for my own body has been pretty cool. And the people that I've met, so I've created a whole new group of friends across the ditch and in the wider world, because of cool, authentic people, because I said yes to something and didn't let an opportunity pass by. I was just like, and some people have said, oh, you dip your toes and everything. You just, there's other things that I've done as well. But how many people who have become super successful in life, who have gotten in and just tried different things and that sort of thing, and failed forward? Like, it's it's not a lot of times that you hit the jackpot on the first, sort of entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to just you got to find what's your niche and what's for you, and what you vibe with and what you're passionate about, and just keep moving. And it can be difficult, and you feel like you're trudging through mud sometimes, but that's the nature of just life. Like, it's not all going to feel like it's rosy all the time. And even today, like, I'm at home and I'm like, oh, it's windy and cold. Do I go to work? Is there anyone going to come? Is my caravan going to blow over? So I don't know, but yeah, it's that thing.
What gets you out of bed then? Like, because everyone's got to have, there's motivation and inspiration, right? And they're two completely separate things. Motivation, you're dependent on, and inspiration makes you independent. So, like, what is your inspiration? Because motivation can come from fucking anything.
Yes.
But what keeps you going all the time? Like, what keeps you expanding? What keeps you looking for new things? And then what gets you out of bed? Like, why'd you do it?
Why do I do it? Well, I love people, and I love I love being able to. I get excited about who I'm going to see today, or one of my mottos I have in life is to make sure people feel better when they leave, before better, more better before they leave, after they leave, than before they arrive at the Kea, or when they visit me. Like, I just love, my middle name is Joy, because I love to impart joy onto people and to make them feel good. So that people is one of my reasons for getting up. I just love people, and I love connecting with people. What's the other? I mean, life is really short. I've hit 34 now, and I remember when I was a kid, my grandparents saying, it really goes by so fast. And as a child, you're like, oh my goodness, this couldn't go any slower.
Yeah.
So I just want to hurry up and grow up.
Yeah.
And then we do grow up, and you fill your day with so much stuff. And you look forward to going to sleep, and I look at kids and I'm like, why are you just detesting your parents with going to sleep? Sleep's amazing. And you just realize how fast, like even this year, life goes. And so I find it quite precious, like being able to get up and even if it is just having a day at home, I really value that, because we're just so busy. But the one thing I feel like I've been thinking about over the last week is how time poor I am. And I guess it's that, both me and Nate, who works in real estate, we work 6 to 7 days a week. And so we miss out on a lot of family stuff, and we miss out on even taking our jet ski out or going camping. We lend it to other people, but we aren't using it ourselves. And I'm like, we're working towards a common goal for freedom, but it's like, it gets tough, because you got to take those moments. Like for me, I'm thinking, well, what if my grandparents pass away and I haven't seen them for weeks, and I've just got to remind myself to be like, well, you need to make the effort to put the people that are important to you in amongst your life, and make sure that you make that a priority, because you don't get that back.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because everyone's like, especially in the whole business realm and like real estate, you're trying to work towards that freedom, right? That euphoric state where you can basically sit on a beach and live your life and nothing really changes, and you don't have to worry about pennies or anything. But then, like, to get there, it seems like you have to sacrifice an arm and a leg, and like it's being able to weigh it up and balance it. So it's like, hey, it might take you 5, 10, 15 years longer, but at the end of the day, I'm living life during it.
Yeah.
And finding that balance is seriously difficult. Is that what is it that you make yourself do then? Do you like make yourself take a day off? Do you like go out? What is it that you make yourself do to keep that balance?
Yeah, I do give myself, well, so we just had the school holidays, which is like the busiest time. The big school holidays at the end of the year are also crazy. So when obviously that's when there's downtime through the week where kids are in school, and that I'll take 1 or 2 days off. I'm not kind of bothered about, that's when I kind of look forward to those moments where I'm like going to have a bit of a break, and then I'll go visit family. But over the holidays, it's just all go. But what I'm also trying to work towards, right, is when I get this new van and being able to have somebody in there working in there, then that gives me more time, freedom to do other things like events and that. This is obviously how big corporations get going, and the CEO, and they have people working for them who are happy to do that. And that's kind of where I'm wanting to take it to, because I've done this for 5 years, working almost every day, and it's awesome. I have never gotten sick of this job, so I know I'm in the right business. But it's the time that I've sacrificed, not being able to do other things with my family and that.
It's
So yeah,
diversifying income as well, right? It's having multiple different streams of revenue going into the big pond.
100%.
And even if it's just a drop in the ocean, like, it's still a drop. It's a drop that you didn't have, and it's a drop that you don't have to plow energy into day in, day out, like not blue collar, for example.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How did you come up with Kea? Why Kea Coffee?
Well, I actually just bought the business as it was, so they called it Kea Coffee. It was an existing business, and and then I just kind of changed the logo of it a bit more. I really like the kind of turquoise or teal, whatever color you want to call it, greeny blue, bluey green color caravan.
Yeah, blue.
And it's a constant debate on the book, I tell you, with people that depending on the perspective of what you think. But and I just kind of just expanded a bit more, and I did like the name Kea. It kind of goes with my personality, really cheeky and inquisitive, and like fearless, and just like beautiful. So they're just fun-loving birds, and they're
Yeah.
just not afraid to cause havoc wherever they go. So,
Are they the ones that nick your rubber from your windscreen wipers?
100%. Yeah.
Hey, yeah.
And they just plod along,
Yeah.
So so that's kind of where I chose that. And I've helped other friends. Like I've got a chick called Louisa who parks up with a chip van next to me, and she came a few years ago with an idea wanting to do some food as well because she was an ex-chef. She worked for Gordon Ramsay in the UK.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'd known her for about 10 years, and so I was helping her set up her business. And then she's now parked next to me. She's got great product. She's got a great location, and she pumps it out. And yeah, so it's so cool helping and seeing other people who are inspired by something as a friend that I did. And it's only a small business, but it lights something off. She can do it, I can too,
I mean, like, everyone's a leader, right, in their own right, and leadership is what you do. It's like, it's not what they call you. Everyone looks up to fucking, I don't know, or someone with a 1 million or 10 million followers on Instagram or whatever, but it's actually the people that you see day in, day out that ends up keeping you going. Yeah, that's awesome that it's impacting the local community, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about people.
Cool.
So where do you see yourself? Without obviously showing everyone your cards, where do you want to go? Do you just want to keep plodding along? Are you someone that has set goals that you have to fucking crush, or is it something that you kind of just plod along and where you go, you go?
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
I have never really been goal orientated and driven to achieve certain things. I have gotten a competitive streak in me when the pressure is on, but I can also become quite complacent in the routine of every day. So it's one of my challenges is actually trying to figure out I want time freedom. I want to be able to create a residual income that is coming in where I'm able to go and help and do things for other people. I'd love to be everywhere at all times type thing, but unfortunately I'm not God. So that's probably fortunately I'm not God actually. So yeah, but it's letting go because like with the Kea, like that's been my baby. It's like, I kind of fear a little bit that I'll be a little bit of that micromanager, and I don't want to, but that's when that's your thing and you've had it for so long. I and the Kea, and having someone come into it, it's like, please do a good job. So that'll be a challenge, letting go a little bit there. But yeah, I'm definitely like a go with the flow. Let's just make the best of whatever you're doing, and yeah, just keep pretty cheesy, but just keep spreading. I guess it's just like just keep being loving wherever you go type thing. But I'm super
For sure.
clear. Yeah.
For sure. As I hate that this is a thing, but as being a lady impacted the way you sort of run your business? Has it been a challenge to get, I don't know, business through the door or a possible grant or anything like that? Have you faced any issues simply because you're a lady?
Not on the difficult side, more on the side that people are more men are more inclined to help you because I'm just I guess they see they just want to help this young girl out, or it's just so not in the negative, but I've had more support because I guess it's that whole like within different sort of things to do with practical stuff in the Kea, the guys or the trades that are more inclined to help me because if it was a male running it probably would be different, but they were more inclined to help, probably being young and personable and semi-pretty, that they're like, oh, we'll help her out type thing. It's that kind of.
Yeah.
So it probably worked in favor for me, being a female, whereas I don't think it would have had the same effect for if I was a man.
No, I don't think anyone would be helping me shift stuff. That's for sure. They'd be like,
Building
"Nah,
stuff.
fuck off. You can do it yourself, lad.
Yeah, yeah,
That looks heavy. You're on your own."
yeah.
That's funny.
Complete.
Um, if you had to pick one person, right? One person that has been the most influential for you of the way you live your life, the way you run your business, the way you, because you clearly have an open mindset where you're not closed off to new ideas, to new things. You're always sort of searching whether you're doing it intentionally or whether you just, keep chugging forward, like you said. So what or who is the most influential?
Wow, tough question.
Yeah. Like, because
Um,
some people it's a family member, right? Some people
mm,
it's a stranger that they bumped into and ended up giving them some wisdom or instilling some confidence. Some people it's someone who's wrote a book. Like, what is it?
do you know what? I don't know. I
Mm,
think I'm such I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
mm,
I would say right now it would be Nate,
mm,
because it's not so much. I mean, he inspires me by what he does and how optimistic he is.
mm,
And he came from nothing and created such a awesome, successful business for himself, but
mm,
and with hard work. But I think more to the point is that we're both quite strong and quite we do our own things and our own businesses and that. But it was having the support and the you've got this and the belief, which is
mm,
more what I need. Not so much like I get little things in my head. It's just having people believe in me that I can do that, because I have struggled with self belief in myself. And he's
mm,
got a lot in himself, not arrogantly,
mm,
but just believes in himself. So that helps and kind of feeds me to be like, okay, I'm going to go do it. So,
mm,
and probably another chick in my business, in my online business, which has really inspired me too, with her work ethic and what she's done and what she's achieved is pretty amazing too. But that's only just recently, so I've never been someone that's sort of just like I want to do that or go after them. I sort of just get these little urges in myself to be like, oh, I'd love to do this, but um, I never really had. I always questioned myself because of my upbringing, and I kind of was, answered for and all throughout my childhood and that sort of thing. So I
mm.
didn't have a voice myself. So just having people believe in me helps stoke the fire for me to keep going, I think, as opposed to
Yeah,
having one set person who
yeah,
yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
I get that, and like you're clearly very, very family orientated, right? And having that support system in that small circle around you is key for you to just keep going. And like
Mm,
you said, if you have an idea, you want to go out and do it. So that's some intrinsic motivation. But then everyone needs some sort of extrinsic motivation, someone around them, whether it is like someone they don't know, just go keep going, dude,
yeah,
or it's like you said, your partner, Nate, like
yeah,
right next to you. Nah,
yeah,
you're actually strong enough to do it. You don't need me. You're strong enough on your own. And it's like, all right, it's just that sort of confidence instilled back
yeah,
in you that okay, I do have everything I need and I can keep going and you can keep pushing.
yeah.
If you weren't going to go into coffee, if you never would have stumbled on coffee, um, and you can get into the coffee business, what business are you look at and just think, or what industry do you look at and think that'd be really fucking cool?
Probably psychology or counseling, something like that. That would
That's heavy.
yeah. I am and highly fascinated with humans, human behavior, why we do what we do, the backgrounds of people's lives, how I can help, or even just implant perspective for a situation. I just love it. So I'm the person like at the Kea. It's not like how's your day. It's like how's your heart? How's your emotional heart?
Yeah.
I ask all these. It's because I think too many times no one really cares about, when you're going to, it's just sort of daily, like, hi, how are you? But no one really cares. It's like, I like to be able to make people feel valued and heard as well. So that kind of runs quite alongside it.
Fuck, I have the same rant as basically you. Well, I say the same thing as you, but I rant about it because I'm northern. You know what I mean? And it's true. Like, no one wants to have the tough conversations. No one wants to ask the hard questions, and no one truly gives a fuck. Like, it's all superficial. Everyone just kind of wants to get what they want and leave. And it is funny when you turn around and go, oh, so how's life? And they're just like, holy shit, what do you mean? What do you mean, how's life? And I'm like, no, like, you can say it's shit at the moment, like, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, there's some
space to open up what people will tell you,
fuck yeah, and there's some beauty in, because you clearly don't know them, and they might never ever see you again, but from that, you expressing that you actually care about that person and asking the tough questions, that might change them.
Yep.
It might not.
I worked right outside of the courts by the town hall, and I'd get countless people coming in with addictions and that, and they'd walk up and they're a bit jittery, and I'd say, you're on the bulb now, aren't you? I'd just call it, and they're just like, well, how'd you know? And I was like, what are you going in for? Are you planning on going in for good, or was it murder, or I just call it, but without judgment. I mean, and I just shout them a cuppa and just tell them, it's going to be okay, and and it's just like, just breathing, or just whatever I'd say. But just, even though it could be a little bit cliche or cheesy, it's massive for people that probably never get any positive words said to them.
Yep.
That's the reason why they've ended up here. So
Yep.
yeah, you really don't know what the next decision someone's going to make. So it's just so important to be kind, like, wherever you meet people, you go, because there's been a few times when people have been thinking about taking themselves out before they were walking through the park, and they just sat and had a conversation with me, which I find so precious, because I think life is precious. I think human beings are precious, and yeah, so yeah, I'm with you, man.
That's so true, man. That's so true, and it's beautiful. Like, spreading a little bit more like that, and I do think it's local businesses, those big minds, but in a small man's shoes or a small woman's shoes. You know what I mean? Not the massive corporations, not the politicians, not any of that bullshit. Like, it's the people on the ground. It's the people scrubbing the toilets. It's the people shaking hands, kissing babies. Like, they're the ones that actually make the change. And all it does is starts off with, like, saying hello. That's it. That's all it does. Right. I know you're a busy lady, so I've got some quick fire questions for you before you pop off and go spread some joy. Pardon the pun. First one, how do you have your coffee?
How do I have my coffee? Well, this morning it is kind of like a long black with a splash of coconut milk. I like the coconut flat whites or the coconut long blacks. That's my jam now. I've gone off the dairy.
Have you ever tried oat milk?
Yeah, I sell oat milk. Yeah, it's not bad. It kind of tastes similar to the old normal milk.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's a bit sweet,
Yeah.
I do. I like it.
Yeah.
Favorite meal?
Oh, I'm going to have to say it's a cross between good Thai food and good Mexican food.
Oh, nice. Or both, because why not?
I'll have all the best of all the worlds, absolutely.
Yeah, why not? Are you a morning or a night person?
I would so love to say morning, but I'm really just not. So yes, I'll go with night.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Green Mile /
Oh, shoot.
Forrest Gump / Memoirs of a Geisha.
Wow, I'm not seen that last one, but the first two are absolute bangers.
Yeah.
Favorite book or the most influential book that you've read?
possibly apart from the Bible, I would say there's a book called Not Without My Daughter. I like true sort of stories. And it's about this woman who is married to this Muslim man, and they have a daughter, and they head back to Saudi Arabia or some Arab country. And anyway, he ends up sort of like manipulating her and then entrapping her there. And she tries to flee, and he says, you can go, but you can't take our daughter. So pretty much it's about her and the planning on trying to get her daughter and her out of this Arab country that she feels trapped in. It's quite, you can't put the book down. It's pretty amazing. Wow. You just feel so grateful that you have the freedoms that we have in a country where we're not downtrodden and we don't have to stay hidden as a female. Like, it's pretty insane. So yeah, I would say that one.
Wow, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting though.
Yeah, very interesting.
3 things you would say to a young lady wanting to get into business. 3 pieces of advice.
Not to involve too many people in your decision, because it can throw you off your goal. Because everyone has an opinion. I would say, pretty much that saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Like, if you want this, do the things that are going to get you in there, or find how you're going to be able to get the funds to be able to do that. Create a plan, etc. And surround yourself with people that believe in you, that you can do it.
Nice. I like that. It's all about that inner circle, man. It's all about who surrounds you. Yeah. Do you have a morning routine or an anchor for the day? It doesn't necessarily have to be in the morning, but something that sets you in the day, something that keeps you grounded.
Nothing really set. I just try to do at least 10 minutes of self-growth, whether it be listening to like a podcast or listening to some inspirational stuff in the day. Generally, I'm pretty good at self-regulating, but if I'm sort of a bit off my game, or feeling a bit maybe anxious about life, I will go and research something that will help ease. I tend to like to sort of be like, okay, I'm feeling like this, right, let's go on and see, and if I can just feed myself with some good stuff. Generally, on the whole, I just kind of just roll with whatever. But I just got to talk to somebody, probably, is my thing. I just got to connect with someone, whether it be on the phone or whether I see them in person. Yeah.
Very social person though, aren't you?
So social, yeah. So
feed off that energy. Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Describe yourself in 5 words.
Energetic, fun-loving, non-judgmental, oh my goodness, courageous, and a nurturer.
And which?
A nurturer.
Nurturer. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Biggest life lesson?
It would have to be so in regards to my daughter, it'd have to be, if you make the decision, like, not to, if you make a final decision, like, you can't change anything after that. But if you're worried about what the future is, but you have multiple decisions, I don't know, what I'm saying here is that I didn't know what was going to happen with having Leah and how my life was going to turn out, but I did know if I was going to abort Leah, then that was it, that there was no going back. So I had the opportunity to be able to make a better life for myself by having Leah, and I did, and I had more control over that than I would have just stopping it all, because I can't reverse that decision once that's done final. So that would be, and that you just don't know what's around the corner. And also, like, within my family, like, initially I was like, what are people going to think? But no one actually gives a crap after about 1 or 2 weeks if you're doing something like that, because everyone has their own lives that they're dealing with. So no one actually cares what's going on in your life.
that is fucking gold. That's so true. They're like, man, they get over it. It's fine.
Real quick.
Yeah.
People aren't talking about us as much as we think they are.
Oh, fuck no. It's only in your head. It's only that little devil on your shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Right, last one. Okay. What is your mantra or one of your mantras or a quote that you live by? Whether business, life, doesn't matter.
It would have to be that one of just that make people feel better. Make people feel oh my goodness, I can't say it. When people leave from seeing you feel better than before they arrive, probably would be the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
I want with people on my obituary or like when I die and that to say that she was just a joy to be around, that she just made an environment better. That's what I want people to say when I die. Not
for sure.
Mm.
I mean, for sure. All right, mate. I know you need to jump into the coffee container, but if people wanted to find you personally or obviously Kea Coffee, where would you send them?
Bethy Joy, is it Bethy_Joy on Instagram, and Bethy Joy on Facebook, and Kea Coffee, KEA Coffee. It's a blue logo that's on both Instagram and Facebook, and I am parked up outside of the Margaret Mayhew Playground, just on the corner of Manchester Street there, in the middle of the town. It's the number one place on TripAdvisor to go to, Margaret Mayhew Playground in Christchurch, surprisingly. So we get so many thousand people there a year. So that's pretty cool.
There you go.
That's so cool. Come say hi, have a bit of a chat, and love to meet you.
That'll be sick. All right, mate. You go enjoy making coffees and spreading some joy. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's been a pleasure, Alex.
Spot on, mate. I will see you in the next coming days.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, mate. I'll come for a coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
Yeah, spot on.
All right.
Take it easy, mate.